the love of my life, and I ain't excited tonight to give you.
As usual, we're still serving our breakfast and serving it to you in bed. I hope your Saturday morning is coming right and straight. Now, let's get into the topic of today.
A very interesting one.
Yeah, very interesting, you say. Well, you like the topic, though. So, many people are dealing with life and life challenges. We're all dealing with it, really.
At different stages.
There are different stages, and it's not like it's peculiar to one person or peculiar to one particular age grade, age grade or age, set or whatever. But it varies. And we're talking about navigating life between the age 20 to 50. And how things change, how things evolve, how demands evolve, how demands change, how your wants and needs also change. And,
how your perspective of life
yes, and understanding if these things are valid and how we're all learning together, really. So we're all dropping our own thoughts and advices and see, how can we all, and we hope we all learn, how can we all navigate through life? So there's no right or wrong answer. There's just, bringing thoughts and minds together. So navigating life, a lot has changed. A lot is changing. And like we were talking earlier, the way many people in their 20s manage situations and people in their 30s and 40s manage situations, it varies. How do you say it?
From my own side, I feel someone who is in their 20s, you can obviously want to live life like you're in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s. Obviously, you want to live life at that moment because basically it's a step-by-step situation. And even if you're living life at that moment, there are some certain things you shouldn't neglect. Like there are things you should actually look out for because this is more like it's a time frame because before you know it, you're 50 already and you're like looking back like, how did I spend my 20s? How did I spend my 30s? So it's more like a stage where you're getting to and you feel, oh, I don't want to regret anything. So at that age of 20, because you're going forward, like try and look out for the important things because we have so many people that are single in their 50s and basically when they look back, they feel, oh, I actually did this, I actually did that. And they are regretting, like, oh, I should have done this. And sometimes about you, when you're in your 20s, like the standards were too high. Like people can't approach you. You can't do the people. This person. No, let's just leave this person out. And
no. I'm going to butt in there because I'm going to butt in there because you said something. You said there are many people in their 50s that. Well, okay, you said many. You didn't say all. Okay, they're in their 50s and then they look back and they have some level of regret. Well, you said many, but I don't think many. Because people make choices in life, and the choices serve you at different times. And these choices might either be positive or might either come out as positive or negative. But I think one thing we all need to understand is at whatever stage in life we make these choices, we should be ready for consequences. Now, these consequences, whether they serve us right or not, are things that we should actually now debate on and say, you know what, I did this when I was younger. I had this, I made this choice. Now, am I comfortable with the consequences? And how do I get off or over these consequences? Now, you might be younger and you're talking about standards here. I believe every young person should wake up and have standards.
The mindset,
A good mindset of this is what I want for myself.
This is what I'm doing today.
These are my goals, these are my aspirations, these are things I hope to achieve. And you should be able to ask someone who is in uni, like, you're in 100 level in uni, and saying 100 level in uni is actually trying to be mild and easier. Aspirations should start from when you're younger, less younger than that. But let's start when you're 100 level in uni. And you're saying, okay, now, what are your goals and aspirations? Now, when you ask someone who is in 100 level, what are your goals and aspirations? And this person goes, I'm even trying to find words to put it. The person is off balance. And the person needs an emergency call. And we see many of that these days. And you see people in their 20s, they don't even have a clear path of what they want to achieve. There's no goal. There's no aspiration. I think many people, the goal is, I just want to slay. I just want to make money.
I just want to flex.
I just want to flex. Now, you're going to make money. Yes, we all want to make money. But what are your plans to make this money? What are the plans you're putting in place to make them? I don't think you can actually make legal money in 24 hours.
No.
It takes a process. And these are things that should form the basis of your 20s. Standards are right.
Like when I mean standard, like I'm not saying obviously we all have standards and all, but
Yeah.
people tend to place those standards too high to the extent that they like it gets to them and it gets over their whole lifestyle, and they feel when they're now old, they're now, oh, I've actually done this too much. Like I should have given this a chance, I should have given that a chance, I should have actually taken this risk. See, at some point in our life, obviously we have to take risk. Like there are things,
Risk takers.
Yeah, there are things that you just have to just place your bet like, oh, I'm going to take this risk, whatever happens. But there are sometimes where you just have to think about, okay, let me weigh my options. Is it 50-50? If I take this risk, do I come out on top or do I come out beneath what I actually expected? But there are times where you just have to like go all out and just check and balance, because it's in your 20s, there are things you place like this high, like, oh, this person has to be this, you have to do this, I have to do this. But when you're getting older, you feel, oh, do these things still matter? Like, should I still give relevance to these things? Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand, but yeah, but then I still want to hold on to standards, and I understand where you say standards might be too high and they're not realistic.
Yeah.
But I always believe that when you set standards, you actually need to look at yourself and see, do you realistically can you meet up yourself?
Can I catch up? Yeah.
Can you meet up with those standards you've set for yourselves? For yourself, can you meet up with those standards? Now, if you do your weighing, your calculation, and you feel that you can meet up to those standards, it's fine. Yeah. Now, these standards might change over time. Now, it might be with people that you want, your significant other, people you want in your life, and you feel like, well, people might feel I was brought home in this certain kind of household. My parents have this certain dynamics, and well, I like it. I admire it.
I want to move in that direction.
And I want to move in that direction. I love the way my dad took care of my mom. I love the way my mom took care of my dad. I love what they are. So if I'm going to have that kind of person, if I'm going to have a significant other in my life, I want this in my life. Yes, this might be standards the person might set, but it might not be realistic, because everybody wouldn't be your dad. Everybody wouldn't be your mom. But, well, at that age, you feel that this is what I want at that time. Now, when it comes to work, you feel if they're not going to pay me 6-7 figures, I'm not going to take the work. That's your standard. But based on the Nigerian economy, and if you don't want to be a liability, you know, sometimes those standards might just need to drop.
Yeah, you have to start from somewhere.
Yes. But the fact that the standards are dropping, they're not dropping in the sense that you can never achieve them again.
Just because you're dropping your standard doesn't mean you don't know where you're going to.
Yes.
It's more like I'm keeping myself busy at this certain period of time. And obviously, I still have somewhere that I'm going to. I still have bigger pictures and I still have bigger aspirations to like achieve. But some people, that's why I said, it gets to some people too much. Like they just feel, oh, if you're not offering me this, no, I'm not going to settle for this. If you're not offering me this, I'm not going to settle for this. And there are people who have actually accepted less and see them today. Like they're actually living fine. They're actually living good. So it's basically just about the old standard. No, and to some extent too, some people can't match your standards. Like
some people can what?
Some people can't match.
Obviously, some people can't match the standards.
Let's be honest with each other. Because if you're looking at people in their 50s, you feel, oh, I've actually put in too much to now lower my standards at this age, and I feel that's also a factor too. Like it's more like a problem for them, because when they look back, they feel my 30s, 40s, and now I'm 50. So you expect me to now drop it all of a sudden.
Standards.
It's not possible.
But it's valid. Because now, like I always, in your 20s, your 20s is like your free time.
Yeah.
You explore, you make lots of mistakes, and it's a fact, one thing. But while exploring, explore responsibly.
Yeah,
but that's the time for you to explore. You know, if you have the opportunity to explore, the opportunity to learn new things. Be
reasonable about it.
Yeah. You make mistakes, and then you can correct those mistakes, and then we can actually see, well, he or she's young, and then the person will make mistakes. Now, in your 30s, you can also explore. I feel being in your 30s is like the most calm.
Well, it's more like a phase where it's about to get serious.
Yeah.
It's about to get serious.
It's about to get serious.
So obviously, anything you're doing now, you have to be very, very conscious, like, oh, I don't want to do something that I will now regret.
It's a determiner. It's a determiner of the future in a way.
I'm getting to that part where I have to cross over to that serious life. Let me just put it that way, like that's serious life.
Well, if you use the word serious, because I feel well, serious should start from when you're young. But if you use the word serious, I'm trying to look for another word, but I can't get, so I'm going to stick to serious. But then being in your 30s is like, you know, you've seen a lot in your 20s. You've made mistakes in your 20s. And in your 30s, you're more like laid back and you're more calculate. You calculate. when you don't want to make this mistake, you don't want to make that mistake because you have reflections, you took the wrong steps.
Yeah.
But this doesn't mean that your standards will eventually drop.
No.
Now in your 40s, and your 40s too, like they say, life begins at 40s. So in your 40s is more like...
Do you believe in that saying?
Well, life begins at whenever you want life to begin. For some of us, we always press the reboot, whatever, every time we celebrate.
So people started life in their 20s, some in their 80s, or some in their 70s.
And that's it. Like I always say, there's no manual to live in. And I think we all put these barriers, this thing that there's a manual to live in your 20s. You should have done this in your 30s. It's
just about you balancing. Like
people find love in their 50s.
Yeah.
People find love in their 60s. People find love in their 70s. There's no time. There's no barrier to it. But just because society has conditioned us to feel like, well, you should find this at this time, find this at this time, find this at this time. To be very honest, people that are in situations where they want to achieve a particular thing at a particular time, that society has said, well, you should achieve this at this time, and they don't achieve it. Deep down, they think about it. Now, it's now going to be absolutely ridiculous. More pressure if you wake up every day to remind them that they've not achieved this. And then they go like, uncle, sis, auntie, mommy, daddy. I know! Relax.
That's not even nice at all.
Yes, like, I know. Just
relax. You're putting them under unnecessary pressure.
Yes. Relax, I'm going to get to do this when it's time for me to do it. Because you feel that you did this in your 20s, during your time.
I have to do it in my 20s. No, it's not possible.
Now, look at it. For those who... I'm talking of those who were born in the 50s, maybe some in the 60s too. When they finished school, they had jobs. I knew that in the 70s, people that graduated from university, the government gave them cars. You know, things were like set in place for them. So life was making sense for them. Now, you can imagine those in their 20s or 30s around that time. Things are not the way they were then. So someone that time that had that privilege will talk from a place of that time. Not realizing that things have changed. You know, the battle a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old faced that time in the 70s is different from the battle a 20, 30-year-old is facing now.
The battle a 30-year-old is facing now is the battle, do I say, a 60-year-old or 70-year-old was facing then. Because when you look at things now, you'll be like, more. Like, it's overwhelming for you. I won't lie to you. Yeah,
it's overwhelming.
So basically, there are those ages where you just have to like, I won't kill myself. I'll take it step by step. You achieved yours in your 20s. So just leave me. As long as I'm living fine, I'm doing fine. There's still hope, and I'm still alive. There's hope. I'll reach there. As
much as we say, well, leave me, but I always want to point something that you should have a support system in your corner. Whatever age, grade or range you are, you should have the support system. You should have someone checking you up and knowing that, I know that you're taking your time and your pace, but do you realize that you can do this? Do you want to do this now? Do you want to do this then? You know, just mild checkups to just put people in the right perspective. Not too much pressure. You can achieve, look, you can always press the restart button at any stage in life. You can always press the restart button at any stage in life. Look, there's no. Like, I can imagine in this society, you know, people will tell you, you say a 40-year-old or someone who is close to 50, and like the person, and it's so annoying that people sit and say, you know, that person doesn't have a child, is not married, and then this.
Do we still do
that?
And
people do it, and I wonder. The question is, why do you think that because you're married and because you have a child, that person wants to get married and have a child? Why do you think that is why do you think that is what that person wants to do?
It's just the ideology. Like, people have been, like, they've been raised with that idea, okay, at this certain age, you have to. Because if you're not doing that at that very age, you're not living life, like, you're not doing anything. And
I think we need to change that.
You're wasting your, your potentials. Like, some people will tell you, you have to settle at a very early age just to, like, you can't force me to do what I'm not ready to do.
And it's very annoying that you even
take my time.
You get. It has never been said to me, but I'm actually looking forward. I'm actually looking forward to the time when it will be said to me, where someone will tell me, we want you to do this and this, and you're like, I don't think I'll have time to do it.
It's always like, when I did my own back then.
No. Even
or they'll tell you if you're not doing it now, as time goes on, it's going to more hard. I'm like,
So
chill.
they're like, well, they tell you that, okay, we need you to do this. I'm like, oh, sorry, I won't be able to do this because I won't have the time. I'm like, why is it that you don't have the time? It's not like you're married and you have children. Excuse me. I'm going to come, if that is, I'm going to come for you because I'm going to ask you why you think you have an opinion. Why you think you have an opinion? Just because I don't subscribe to what you subscribe to at that time doesn't mean you have an opinion.
If you're looking at people like that, most of their time is always about family. They don't have breathing space. Like,
yeah, but family time is great though. But then
don't
you have your personal
get me wrong.
time, yeah?
There are times where obviously family is very, 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 very important. But there are times where you just need to, like, just you alone, like, just go out, like, just reflect on yourself. Like, obviously your family is doing well, but not just about the whole has to be family from A to Z. No.
So
like, at least live life also.
My thoughts in all of this is you can always press the reset button at any time. There's no manual to live in. There's no blueprints. Don't let anybody put pressure on you. But the main thing is have people in your corner that are always checking up on you. It's very important. And please do set goals and aspirations early in life. Standards are free to change. Goals are free to change. But please just know you're doing the right thing. And I would like us to note something that, you need to adopt the pace of nature, and that is patience.
What's your own pace,
Yes, adopt the pace of nature, and the pace of nature is patience.
Pressured.
Just be patient in whatever you're doing. Dayo, we need to leave.
Oh, we have to.
It's been an amazing time on Breakfast in Bed, and we hope that we've both shared ideas, and you people have also learned ways on how to navigate life.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Nobody's rushing
no pressure.
you. Take your time.
But while taking your time, remember that, the lifespan still exists,
The thing is,
nobody knows when we're going to die.
The moment
we don't know when we're going to die,
the moment you're doing take your time, you just feel, you just want to die. I'm 60 already. I'm 70. So as you're taking your time, think about it. Like, put things in place. So when you get to that certain age, you don't have to regret, oh, I should have done this while I was there. No.
Said we need to rush.
Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah. I just want to drop this last one before we go. There's a belief that I believe, if concerning marriage, if you are late and you're late, please, if you're ever going to do it, please make sure you have money and do it well. Because I can't imagine when you're getting married at 50 and then you're not doing it well at 50 and then marriage is again at 51 and you don't have money to take care of your children. I'm going to ask you questions. Why did you even get into it in the first place? Well, that's what we can take on Breakfast in Bed. I am Bababumi Agbebi.
And I am Adedayo Kehinde. Hopefully we'll see you next weekend. We will see you next weekend.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Enjoy your weekend.